Welcome back, viewers, to another Heads Up podcast. Neil Davis and the GOAT talking about all things racing and sports, as well as a few other topics that have cropped up in the last week. Neil, hopefully you're doing well in the lockdown that we're all experiencing, and certainly interesting times we're living in at the moment.
Sure are. Racing and sports. What sports are we going to talk about?
Well, we're hoping for
tennis?
someone to send in some info on Ukrainian table tennis. Apart from that, and a bit of Nicaraguan soccer, a bit of 3x3 basketball and esports. Yeah. Certainly sports I'm not too au fait with, so we won't be talking much about sports. I'll give you the tip this week. But racing does still continue.
Luckily.
You've been doing the form in Sydney.
Yeah, doing the form at Rosehall, but it's funny, amazing how things can turn around within 1 week, then a few days, and with the lockdown now, everyone's doing their bit to stay home and save lives, and it's really good to see, especially around, I am Papamoa, Tauranga way, people are just hunkering down, which is good to see. And I think maybe 4 to 8 weeks will get the job done, and we can get out and enjoy the fresh air, and it will certainly appreciate those things like being able to go for a bike ride, or just get into the TAB, or go for a coffee, or just be near people. It just certainly makes you appreciate those sort of things. Yeah.
I think definitely there'll be a lot of socialising going on, and yeah, you're right, exactly right. A day at the races, you'll actually savour that, and whereas previously it was just ho hum, another day at the races. But now, each and every day, you'll probably appreciate the things that you can do once we're through this period. So stay positive, stay focused, create a routine.
That's the key.
Stick to it, and just keep that mindset in the right positive way. And I did some maths actually, Neil. If it goes for 28 days. And there's 24 hours in a day. That's 672 hours, plus 1 for our daylight savings. So we actually have to be locked down for 673 hours. And we've already ticked off 36 hours. So we're over 5% of the way there. So if you look at it like that, it's not too bad.
Glass half full theory, I like that. And most of those hours, or a third of those hours, hopefully will be horizontal, lying down asleep. So maybe a bit longer with the sleep-ins you can have, which is good. Last week, Scott Bass, wasn't he impressive?
Yeah, just got up trucking nicely in behind the speed. Danielle Johnson positioned him beautifully. The mitigator tried to kick clear, but he rounded the mitigator up very easily and went to the line pretty much untested. Good to see a good quality horse back after a bit of a hiatus in the wilderness and not really delivering, but just that right type of track, I think, was the key to him. Not too hard and not too wet.
And he looked terrific before the start. And I did the sectionals on that race, and I put up a video review of all the races there at Tauranga too, so it's free to view as well. So they went pretty hard, not too hard, but hard enough for something like Scott Bass to come off the mitigator's back. I thought he would have got a softer lead, but it was a good strong win by the mitigator, and Shariva ran on well, out of her class. And what was the horse that ran third? I forget the name. It ran a really good race.
Not Watch This Space. That ran fifth.
No, it was the horse that won. It's won there before twice over middle distance. Good tough horse. Anyway, it was a good race by him as well. That was a good day of racing. And Kinshasa in the last race, wasn't that an amazing one? Losing a conservative 10 lengths out of the barrier.
Ocean Billy was also run third.
That's right, Ocean Billy. And
you couldn't even pick it up on trackside, could you? The camera didn't go back far enough, but
no,
an amazing win. I said to the jockey afterwards, I said, "What happened there, mate?" He said, "Oh, the alarm didn't go off. The horse must have fallen asleep in the barriers." And still to get up, circling them. And I was quite happy with that result, just quietly, Neil.
That was good. It was punted in too, so that was good money. And okay, let's have a look at nothing else about last week. What else was on? Was Tauranga and
Riccarton.
Riccarton
and 5 Group 1s. Te Akau Shark, just that drop back in distance. 16 back to the 15. Probably he was ready for 2,000, just ground to the line. But they weren't making up much ground at Rosehill last week, were they really?
No. He ran on well, did well for 30. He was out wider, wasn't he? So the ride's been curried by Stewart, so we'll see. It's their interpretation, but no, we know how good he is. And yeah, I think maybe you're right. 2,000 metres for him now would be ideal. Yeah, Rosehill, some nice racing there tomorrow. Got a soft 6 track. Rain may come or may not come, so if you're relying on a wet, track, maybe wait and see. If the rain misses it, it could come back to a soft 5. Around about 111, 112 for 1,200 metres, that means. New Zealand
So
team.
your Finery Stakes, the Group 1, 2,000 metres for the 3-year-old fillies. Surely track conditions is the key variable here in determining the winner. When you've got Funstar, who doesn't really mind a bit of aqua around, and you've got Probabeel, who detests it. So would you be holding off having a bet, or are you quite confident one way or the other at this point in time?
I think Funstar, she's 3-1 up against the Probabeel, and I think on a soft 6, even a soft 5 track, I think Funstar's got the edge of a Probabeel now. Probabeel came to her last start, and Funstar just pulled away the last little bit, and there's got to be a lot of improvement in Funstar still, and Probabeel's at her peak, so I can't see how she can turn the tables on Funstar. But there's something else I think you like on there, isn't there? Ex-Kiwi horse? Ex-Kiwi filly?
Subpoenaed. Yeah, well, it has to be a chance, I guess. This horse will be always perhaps remembered for winning its first start at Te Rapa, beating, or not just beating, comprehensively beating a pretty handy horse in Catalyst, who only ran about 7th, beaten about 8 lengths behind Subpoenaed that day.
It was too, yeah.
So,
I remember that now.
Yeah, back in April of this last year. But no, I'll stick with Funstar at $1.80. Probably not a bad price, actually, in that field. 2,000 metres, right up her LE2 now, you'd think. So,
yeah.
Don't like to be going against the Kiwis, but hey, we're here to make money, not friends.
That's right, gee. Oh, that'd be nice to see Probabeel win, but I just can't see it turning the tables. Race 8, the next race, Amangiri, it's a horse I really like. She raced at Moonee Valley in the Group 3. She led. Big striding mare, likes to just roll along and do her own thing out in front. And I think in this race she'll be second out. And at Moonee Valley, she led, got headed before the turn. But gee, she came back and won really well. Good tough mare. And if you saw her trial recently where she led and just ticked away, will handle a soft 6 track on her ear. And I thought $6, I think. Great each way money should be up in the pace. I think that'll be the place to be at Rosehill.
This was the horse that won, I think, the last race on Cox Plate Day last year when we were up at the King of the Punt, and there was a few lads on it, and it looked beat at the 200, fought back to win.
Yep.
I remember that race now. Certainly tough. She was very tough. $6. What have we got in that race? Just
one Girl Tuesday fresh up, and Sweet Deal will probably lead, but I think Amangiri will sit outside it, and with her will to win, they go sort of softish mid-race, which they could do. Sweet Deal suspect at this distance, so Amangiri.
Pahudakawa, what happened there last time? Was it a forgive run?
Yeah, it may have been a bit too heavy for her, but she's a good mare, but she'll get back. Just depends on the tempo of the race. If you like betting and running, that's the sort of race you want to wait and see how they go mid-race, then maybe jump on. But no, it'll be excellent racing there tomorrow. Looking forward to it. I'll tell you what, there's one, I'll tip it out now. There's one horse I really like earlier on the 2-yard race. It's a big, strong horse. Race 2, number 5, Return with Honour. Dead stiff last start. You look at that race, it just sticks out like David and Goliath. It's just a big, strong 2-year-old. And I think up to 1,400 metres, it's a good bet. $4.80. I rated it about a $3.70 chance. So.
420
now. Yeah.
New Zealand tab. You must have had a lick.
Not yet. No, I'll be waiting until tomorrow. But I think she's drawn out wide, but there's a few scratching in that race. And no matter what the track conditions are, it's got an action for a wet track anyway. So I think it's a good bet early on in the day, hopefully. And it should be one of those money back bonus bets too, you'd think. So bet you
Yep.
$30 on that. I like that thing, that money back offer, bonus bets. Just with $30 on, if it wins, great. If it loses, gets in the first four, get your money and bonus bets back on interest. Good
Get
fun,
another crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Look forward to your selections tomorrow. You'll be doing the form, so we'll wait with bated breath. I'll probably be up about 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
Roses.
the scratchings are normally up by 11 o'clock here and in Australia, so 12 o'clock by noon. But the early preview of all races will be up later on this afternoon, so you can get on early if you want to. Fun start with a couple of multis into a couple if you want to, but I think the TRB should be doing a few interesting bets like head-to-heads, and we'll have a look at those, especially if the track gets some rain. Those head-to-heads can be really good if you get on early enough. Some good value there. Now, last week's question was,
who won last year's Japan Trophy?
Yep.
And the answer was Volpe Veloce. And I think you said we've got 5 correct answers in the draw, Neil. So we need to choose a number.
1 to 5. There you go.
We'll go number 5.
Number 5. Steve L. Good on you, Steve. He texts me, so I'll text you back, and we'll put a multi on for you tomorrow. You know Steve?
Excellent.
You know Steve?
Is that Steve L from Waipuck?
I'm not sure. We could find out.
Not that Steve L. No, it might be a different Steve L. Not Mr. Lawrence.
He loves his racing, so hopefully
we can
get a couple of winners for him up.
Yeah, excellent. So we've still got some tin in the bin to
we definitely have. So
have some.
There's another one.
Another one.
Make it a tough one.
Well, it won't be too tough, but you might have to test your memory a little bit. Okay, we've just ticked over the 5-year anniversary of one of the great sporting occasions I've ever been to, I have to say, the semi-final of the 2015 Cricket World Cup, New Zealand versus South Africa at Eden Park.
Yeah.
We all remember how it finished. Grant Elliott hitting that 6 to win the game on the second to last ball. Who was at the non-strikers end for New Zealand when Elliott hit the winning runs? If you can remember that, just text or email your answers to Neil, and you'll be in the draw for next week's multi.
Yeah, 027 352 6402 or formpro at formpro.co.nz by Monday night, and you'll be in the draw for the next week's multi. Yeah, that was a great night. That wasn't my daughter was there that night, and it was
pretty outstanding. Very enjoyable.
Whereabouts in the stand were you?
Right up the top of the west stand.
Stand.
We're on. I think it was the second to top row. So side on to the wicket, but good fun, very good fun. Obviously, a lot of people probably got more time on their hands than they used to. So, have we got any suggestions, Neil, or you've asked for any questions that viewers might have that you can try and answer? Anything you'd suggest that people could be doing from a punting point of view to improve their knowledge and their expertise over this period?
Yeah, there was earlier on, a couple of hours ago before Heads Up, I asked if anybody had any questions, and Tim emailed in and said, you often talk about a wet track galloping action. Can you tell us more about that? So it's probably easier to use video, which I will do to explain that later on. But basically, if you see a horse that has a high knee action and coming down onto the track, it's much easier than a horse with a daisy cutter action that comes down at more of an angle to the track. So David Walsh was really good at helping me with this years ago. And the advantage is if you've got video software, you can slow the race down to frame by frame. And it's the best way to learn, but after a while you can see at normal speed which horses have and haven't got the action. Not to say that horses with daisy cutter actions or close to it can still win a wet track, and they do. But if you're going to have a decent punt, you can often save yourself money or see a horse that is on a dry track with a wet track action and stay off it and save yourself money, or vice versa. So especially with the wet tracks coming up in May, June, July, there'll be a lot of horses you can see in trials or other races that you aren't too sure about, and get on those. Because often on the Aussie race tipsters, they will refer to a horse and they won't be too sure if it'll handle a wet track. But if you know how to see or read a horse's action, you'll know that it should be able to handle a wet track or not be able to handle a wet track. Sometimes it's 50-50, so you're on the fence. But it's a good skill to have.
Just on that, Neil, one suggestion or thought I had is, I think we've talked about it before, Practical Punting Monthly. If you go onto that website, practicalpunting.com.au, they've got a library of articles. And I'm just looking, there's 9 articles on wet tracks. So you just go into the A to Z punting library, A to Z of betting. It's all free. You just have to register. But there's hundreds and hundreds of articles on different aspects. So if you've got a couple of hours to spare over the next 3 or 4 weeks, something that you might want to skill up on and just read and learn and filter what you think's important. It's obviously mainly an Australian angle to things, but I'm sure we can adapt some of those to New Zealand as well. So practicalpunting.com.au for a few bit of punting articles to get your teeth into if you so desire.
Yeah, good idea. I used to get Practical Punting magazine physically, the magazine, years ago. Had a big pile of them, or 2 or 3 big piles of them actually. Learned a heck of a lot through those magazines, and be good to have something like that. And in our country, we got race form, obviously. Hopefully that survives the coronavirus, but we'll see. And it's just good to have interesting punting articles to learn more and hopefully find those winners. Right, any brickbats or bouquets?
Well, probably not the time to be giving out brickbats, but I think you've got the bouquet, which I must say I have to agree with you on. So fire away, Neil.
Yeah, Jacinda Ardern, our leader. I think she's done a wonderful job leading the country and being on the front foot about what should happen and shouldn't happen. And you need someone like that, as opposed to you see what's going on in the States and Australia. She's got the right advice and put on a plan, and she's stuck to it, hasn't wavered. So good on her, well done. And I'd just like to, I've never been a great supporter of her, but when it comes to the tough times, it's good to see someone like her stepping up.
I think the clarity of the communication has been important too.
Mm.
People basically know what they need to be doing, and that little motto, stay home, save lives,
Yep.
Seems to be working thus far. Let's hope people don't get too complacent and continue to do what they need to do for their country. I guess this is our generation's equivalent of a world war scenario, and staying at home is a bit easier than leaving your family and going over and fighting and having bombs dropped left, right and centre on you. So small sacrifice to make in reality, Neil.
Definitely, yeah. It is the invisible enemy. It's like World War III and involves everybody in the country. So everyone does their bit, we'll get on top of this thing and knock it over. Right, yeah, for next week, if you've got any more ideas, anybody, on punting articles, or if you have any ideas of what we could do on here in terms of New Zealand racing, whether we look at some old races, and I don't know, just do some phantom calls on something. Got any ideas of what we could do? Or
I'm open to seeing what the viewers have got out there. This thing going around on Twitter, name your 4 favourite racehorses. Keeps people occupied thinking of those. Might come up with your favourite race calls, your first memories of racing, all sorts of different things that could trigger a bit of a conversation and get people distracted away from what we're going through.
That's right. You've got to have, things you enjoy watching and doing. So take it day by day. And if you've got any ideas, email, text me, or give us a call and see what we can do. So hang on there, Goat. And
Yep, we're surviving, Neil. We're surviving.
yep, as you say, we've only got, what, 95% of our
Yep.
hang on there to keep hanging in there for. So glass half full
By the-
theory.
By our next podcast, we'll be 30% of the way. So
That's right, yeah. Good stuff.
not too bad. So, no, stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you back next Friday.
True right.